My name is Nathan Hale. I'm 41, and for the last 10 years I've lived in a quiet neighborhood on the north side of Chicago, the kind of place where people wave while mowing their lawns, where dogs bark at the same delivery truck every morning, where nothing truly dramatic is ever supposed to happen. I used to like that stability, predictability, calm. But calm has a way of hiding the things you never think are happening right under your nose. I met Laura 8 years ago at a small cafe near the river. I remember the exact moment. She was laughing with a friend, her hair pulled into a messy knot, a spark in her eyes that made the whole room feel warmer. She wasn't perfect, but she felt real, grounded, human. I fell fast. She fell fast. Or at least she pretended to. We moved in together after a year, adopted a dog, built a life that I thought was solid, honest, ours. For a long time, she was the reason I believed I wasn't meant to live alone. But the thing about betrayal is that it doesn't enter loudly. It seeps in quietly, unnoticed, until the whole foundation collapses. It started with her new job, a tech firm downtown. Long hours, late nights, team projects that absolutely couldn't wait until morning. I didn't question it at first. Everyone had busy seasons. Everyone had demanding coworkers. But there was one name she said more than others. Evan, a senior manager. Married, older than her, younger than me. The kind of man who acted like every room he walked into belonged to him. At first it was harmless. Then she stopped saying his name at all. And that's when I started paying attention. The pieces came together. Slowly, missed calls, muted messages. A shift in her tone when she answered him. A softness that didn't belong to work. I didn't catch them in bed. I didn't confront them in an office hallway. What I found was worse. Because it wasn't just cheating. It was calculated, hidden, a quiet little world they built together. Brick by brick, message by message, lie by lie. And when I finally discovered the whole truth, every message, every late-night project, every hotel room charged to a company card they thought no one noticed, I realized something sharp and cold inside me. They had no idea who they were dealing with. I'm not violent. I'm not impulsive. I don't raise my voice, but I'm patient. I'm exact. And when I choose to destroy something, I do it completely. So this is the story of how I uncovered their affair and how slowly, methodically, I dismantled the lives they thought they'd built peacefully, quietly, without ever lifting my hands. Only the truth. The truth did everything for me. The night everything shifted wasn't dramatic. No slammed doors, no shouting, no sudden confessions whispered in the dark. It was a Tuesday. The kind of ordinary, forgettable Tuesday that becomes unforgettable only in hindsight. Laura came home late again. Her hair messy, her coat half-zipped, her breath shallow like she'd run up every step of the parking garage. Long day, she said, brushing past me and dropping her bag on the counter. I watched her, not accusingly, not with anger. Just watching. She didn't look tired from work. She looked tired from lying. Everything okay? I asked casually. Yeah, of course. Just deadlines? She forced a smile, the kind that flickers too fast at the edges. Then she went to shower without another word, while the water ran upstairs. Her phone buzzed on the counter, just once, a simple, innocent vibration. Except nothing about it was innocent. The lock screen lit up, a preview, brief but enough. A name. Evan made it home. Not did you finish the report. Not don't forget tomorrow's meeting. Not even let me know you got back okay. It was intimacy disguised as small talk. A question asked by someone who believed he had the right to care. That was the moment the last flicker of denial died in me. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was comfortable, rehearsed. Predictable. The betrayal wasn't a sharp stab, it was a slow suffocation. The first thread I pulled, he didn't confront her. Not yet. I didn't storm into the bathroom or throw her phone against the wall. Instead, I picked up her bag, a simple action, quiet, non-threatening. Inside, between her notebook and the pack of gum, I found a folded receipt, a hotel, downtown. Last Friday. 2 cocktails. 1 entree. 1 dessert. Room charge. My chest went tight. Not with heartbreak, with clarity. People think heartbreak comes suddenly. It doesn't. It comes like frost, slowly choking out warmth until all that's left is cold. Clean silence. I placed the receipt back exactly how I found it. Then I sat at the kitchen table and waited for her to come downstairs. She came out of the shower in pajamas, hair damp, smelling like lavender and guilt. She kissed my cheek. I didn't flinch. I didn't pull away. The best revenge begins with calm. Want to watch something? She asked brightly, almost too brightly. Sure, I said, and we did. An entire episode of a series we'd been watching together. She laughed. I smiled, and the whole time, I studied her, the softening of her eyes when she thought of something else, the way her phone stayed screen down, the slight tension in her jaw whenever a notification appeared. By the time we went to bed, I had learned more from her silence than any confession she could have offered. The password waited until she fell asleep, her breath even, her body relaxed, her guard down. Then I slipped out of bed, careful, practiced silent. Her phone lay on the dresser. I lifted it gently, pressed the screen to wake it, password required. I'd known what it was before I checked out her sister's birthday. She never changed it. Not for 3 years. It opened on the first try. And there it was. Everything. Messages, photos, receipts, calendar entries disguised as meetings, late-night conversations full of half-truths and full desires. Reading them didn't hurt. It clarified. It sharpened. It focused. I wasn't the broken one anymore. I was the one holding the map, and I knew exactly where every line led. The planning didn't rage. I didn't cry. I organized. I collected screenshots, exported chat logs, saved attachments, downloaded photos, quietly, methodically. Not for screaming, not for confronting, for precision. Revenge, if you do it right, isn't chaotic. It's clean. By 3 o'clock a.m., I had everything backed up in multiple folders across multiple drives, a full archive of betrayal. Laura shifted in her sleep when I returned to the bedroom, whispering something soft, unintelligible, Evan's name. The whisper wasn't painful. It was confirmation. The next morning, ate breakfast like nothing was wrong. She smiled. I asked about her day. She kissed me before leaving. Every move she made was predictable now, which made everything easier. When she left, I poured out my coffee, sat at the table, and opened my laptop. There were 3 people whose lives were about to change: Laura, Evan, and me. But only one of us would walk away with control, because their biggest mistake wasn't cheating. Their mistake was believing I wouldn't find out. And now that I had, I wasn't going to just confront them. I was going to dismantle them, piece by piece. Quietly. So quietly they wouldn't even realize they were falling apart until they hit the floor. People imagine revenge as loud, explosive, a confrontation in a hallway, a slap across a face, a screaming match for the neighbors to overhear. But real revenge, the kind that actually works, it's quiet, cold, surgical. And that's exactly how I moved through the days that followed, unnoticed, unbothered, and touched. Laura kept lying. Evan kept texting. And I kept gathering. But the first strike I planned wasn't meant for her. It was meant for him. The hidden weak point. Evan wasn't just a cheating coworker. He was a senior manager, a man with responsibilities, connections, an image he polished, like a Dan trophy. The kind of man whose downfall would echo louder than anything he whispered in a hotel room. People like him don't fear being wrong. They fear being exposed. I started with his work calendar. Laura's phone contained sent invites, meetings, team check-ins, project nights that match her late returns home. One event stood out: quarterly strategy review Thursday, 4:30 p.m. Conference room. I checked the company website. This wasn't a strategy meeting. It wasn't a review. It wasn't even a department event. It was fake. A placeholder, a cover, A private R he carved out like a secret tunnel in the middle of the workday. Probably the time he used to meet her. Probably the time they spent preparing reports at hotels instead of conference tables. Perfect. I didn't need to expose the affair directly. I just needed to expose the secrecy. And corporate environments are allergic to secrecy. The first movie on Wednesday night, after Laura fell asleep with exhaustion, I created an anonymous email account. No name, no trace, no ties. Then I composed the first message. To executive compliance at subject. Concern regarding manager conduct. I'm writing to anonymously report behavior that may put the company at risk. Multiple employees have noted that manager Evan Clark holds private off-calendar strategy meetings on company time and books hotel rooms during work hours using his corporate card. I'm not comfortable sharing my identity, but I believe this should be reviewed. The pattern has been ongoing for months. Queen, professional, non-accusatory, but dangerous enough to spark investigation. I hit send. Then I deleted everything: drafts, history, cookies, digital crumbs. If they ever traced the email, they wouldn't. They would find a nothing address on a nothing server routed through nothing logs. By morning, the message would be sitting on 3 desks. By afternoon, it would be discussed behind 2 closed doors. By evening, Evan's perfect little world would feel slightly off balance. And all without my name ever entering the air. The shift next morning, I kissed Laura goodbye at the door. She smiled. She always smiled on mornings after her late nights. Guilt tends to make cheaters nicer, sweeter, more attentive. She thought she was protecting something precious. I knew she was protecting something rotten. At 10:22 a.m., she texted me, "Laura, morning, love. Hope your day's good." Minutes later, Laura, "Lunch together tomorrow. I miss you." The audacity made me almost laugh, but I played along. Me, sure, sounds good. Playing along buys time. Playing along builds trust. Trust keeps them blind. Meanwhile, Evan's morning was not going smoothly. I knew that because at 11:07 a.m., Laura's phone buzzed. "Evan, management pulled me into a meeting. Something's off. Don't text me for now." Interesting. Another came minutes later. "Evan, did you tell someone anything? Anything at all?" Then, "Evan, I'm serious." "Say nothing." Laura stared at the screen for a long time, biting her lip, then typed, "Laura, of course I didn't. What's going on?" He didn't answer. She panicked. I watched from across the kitchen as she paced back and forth, phone clutched tight, fingers trembling. Watching her anxiety was like watching the first crack spread across glass. Small, quiet, but inevitable. The door I needed to open that night. She tried to bring it up. "Nathan, something weird happened at work today." "Oh?" I said casually. "Stirring dinner." She hesitated. "Yeah, Evan got pulled into some compliance thing." He looked nervous. Her voice had guilt tucked beneath every word. I didn't look up. "Well," I said calmly, "if he's nervous, maybe he did something wrong." She swallowed hard. "I don't think so. I mean, I don't know." "You don't know?" I repeated. She didn't answer. Silence settled between us, uncomfortable for her, quietly satisfying for me. The truth was beginning to tighten around their necks, and they didn't even understand how. Not yet. The second strike that night, when she fell asleep, I unlocked her phone again. This time, I went deeper. Her cloud backups, her deleted photos, her archived chats, the ones she thought were gone, and I found something I hadn't expected. A folder of pictures, selfies, mirror shots, little private images she'd sent him from hotel rooms. Nothing explicit, but intimate. Too intimate. And one photo stood out. Laura in a hotel hallway, elevator doors behind her, a reflection of a man, Evan, barely visible in the chrome. That was the one. That was the image that could ruin careers. But I didn't mass send it. I didn't expose her, not yet. Revenge isn't about speed. It's about timing. I saved the image, encrypted it, placed it exactly where I wanted it. And then I crafted the second anonymous email. To HR Directorate. Subject: follow up on Manager Clark. I believe there may be personal misconduct involving Manager Clark and an employee he supervises. Attached is a photo circulating internally. I thought HR should be aware. No names, no claims, just the image. An implication. And implication is more dangerous than evidence. I scheduled the message for 8 o'clock in. Then I placed Laura's phone back on the dresser and went to bed. She curled against me in her sleep, her cheek on my shoulder. Her hand on my chest. As if I were still the man she trusted most in the world. She had no idea the first domino was already falling. Morning came with a strange kind of silence, not the peaceful kind, the loaded kind, thick, tense, like the air right before a thunderstorm cracks open. Laura moved around the kitchen with unusual care, tiptoeing through her own guilt, as if one wrong step might set everything collapsing. She kept glancing at her phone, waiting, dreading. I sipped my coffee. The 8 o'clock a.m. email had already been delivered, somewhere in a room with blinds half closed. A group of HR executives were staring at the photo I'd sent. Laura in a hotel hallway, Evan's silhouette reflected behind her. A moment they thought was disposable suddenly immortalized. When powerful people sense liability, they don't hesitate. I knew by noon the tremors would begin. The first shock wavy at 9:17 a.m. Laura's phone buzzed. Evan, we need to talk now. Then another. Evan, are you alone? Then, Evan, say nothing in text. Delete these. He didn't sound confident anymore. He sounded hunted. I watched her hesitate, then delete his messages, not knowing I'd already archived every word on my own hidden server. She typed back, Laura, at work, can't talk. He didn't respond, for the first time. She was the one left waiting. The investigation begins at 11:03 a.m. Laura stepped outside the office to call me. Her voice was forced light. Hey, just letting you know I might be home a little later. There's some weird stuff going on. Weird how? I asked, letting just enough curiosity show. I don't know. HR pulled Evan into another meeting. Some rumor or something. People are talking. Her breath hitched. Did I do something wrong? I mean, could this affect me? She wanted reassurance. I let silence linger for 1 second too long. Then two. Only then did I say, I'm sure it's nothing. If you didn't do anything, you'll be fine. The words hit her like a knife wrapped in velvet. I almost felt bad. Almost. The cracks grow to PM. Evan finally texted. Evan, they have a photo. I saw her freeze. Her throat tightened. Her fingers shook. Laura, what photo? Evan, you in the hallway, that day. With me? I watched her face drain of color. Panic spread through her like wildfire. Laura, where did it come from? You told me you deleted everything. Evan, I thought I did. Someone must have sent it. They're asking questions about us. Laura, us. There is no us. There never was. You said. Evan, stop. Don't text this. His fear turned to self-preservation. Predictable. I knew exactly what the next stage would be. People like him always throw someone else under the bus when the flames reach their feet. And right on time. He sent the message that ended whatever fantasy she thought she had. Evan, if they ask, you say I pressured you. HR always sides with the junior employee. You'll be protected. She stared at that text for a long, long time, her breath trembling, her jaw clenched. In that moment, I saw the truth finally hit her. He wasn't her secret romance. He was her liability. Her regret. Her mistake. Good. The point of no return. That evening, she came home early. Eyes red, smile fake, hands gripping her purse like she was holding onto the last piece of her identity. I had a hard day, she whispered, unable to look at me. Oh, I said gently. Work? Her voice broke. Can we just talk later? I need a shower. She walked past me, shoulders small, confidence shattered. I watched her go. The shower turned on. She sat on the bathroom floor for 20 minutes before actually getting in. I could hear her breathing heavy. shaky, collapsing in on itself, and I stood in the hallway, listening. Not with satisfaction. With clarity. She wasn't breaking because of the investigation. She was breaking because the world she'd built on lies was collapsing, and she couldn't control a single piece of it. People think heartbreak comes from losing someone you love, but it also comes from realizing someone you betrayed was the one person who never would have hurt you. That's what she was struggling with. That's what stung the most. The third strike, already in motion, while she showered. Her phone buzzed again, an unknown number. This is to inform you that you are required for a formal HR interview tomorrow regarding managerial misconduct. Please confirm availability. Her hands were still wet when she grabbed the phone. Breathless, I pretended not to hear her choked sob. She wasn't just scared, she was cornered, and she didn't know the worst part yet. Tomorrow, during her HR interview, Evan would try to save himself. Laura would try to deny everything, and I would send the final message that neither of them expected, because I hadn't revealed the real evidence. Not yet. This wasn't revenge. This was the prelude. The morning of Laura's HR interview felt strangely calm. The kind of calm that usually comes right before a controlled demolition. That heavy silence before a structure collapses, exactly the way the engineer planned. She moved around the apartment like a ghost haunting her own life. No makeup, no perfume, no spark, just fear wrapped in the shape of the woman I once thought I'd spend forever with. I watched from the doorway. You'll be okay, I said softly. She turned, her eyes glassy, searching my face for comfort. The comfort she'd thrown away. Can you maybe stay near your phone today? I might need you. Of course, I lied. Because today was the day she'd need me least. And the truth most. The interview begins. Your meeting was at 11 o'clock a.m. At 10:52, she texted me. Laura, I'm so scared. What if they think I'm lying? Laura, what if Evan said something? I typed back, me. Just tell the truth. Her fingers stopped shaking long enough to send a final reply. Laura, I am. She wasn't, but that was the beauty of it. The one honest thing she could have said in that moment would have destroyed her. Everything else was just rearranged lies. At 11:04 a.m., the conference room door closed behind her. And the real unraveling began. Inside the room, what she didn't know, I wasn't there in person, but the assistant of a close friend worked in that building, and she lived for gossip. The kind of detail-driven gossip that fills my inbox whenever I need it. She messaged me in real time. Assistant, she looks terrified. Evan's already in here. He won't even look at her. HR printed the photo. I smiled. The photo wasn't even the real knife. Just the appetizer. Laura's strategy was predictable. Deny, deny, deny. She tried to paint Evan as the aggressor, exactly like he told her. She played the confused victim, the misunderstood employee, the innocent bystander in her own crime. But then HR asked, do either of you know who might have sent this anonymously? They both said no, they both lied. And that's when I dropped the final piece, the evidence they never expected. At 11:21 a.m., the assistant sent, someone from HR just got a new email. They're printing something else. Wait, she sent a photo. It was a printed sheet, face down on the table. My file, the final one, the one that didn't just show one moment in a hallway, but 27 messages, screenshots, hotel charges, 2 phone calls, and a recorded conversation, wide open on a clean audio file, all of it neatly organized. All of it undeniable. All of it timed perfectly to arrive 30 minutes into the interview, when both Laura and Evan were too deep in their lies to climb out. The assistant typed, Evan is sweating through his shirt. Laura looks like she's about to faint. They both keep saying this isn't fair. Fair? No. It wasn't fair. It was exact. Deliberate. Surgical. The collapse at noon. Evan had turned on her completely. He claimed she initiated everything. She claimed he manipulated her. It didn't care who started it. The company cared about liability. Optics. Damage control. They suspended them both, effective immediately. Laura walked out of the building alone, mascara streaked down her cheeks, shaking like she'd been dropped into ice water. She called me. I didn't answer. She called again and again. Then she texted, Laura, please come home. Laura, I need you. Laura, please. Laura, I'm sorry. Laura, I'm so sorry. Please answer me. I let it all sit on my screen, a museum of regret. I went home 3 hours later. She was sitting on the floor against the couch, knees to her chest, staring at the door like she'd been waiting for a verdict. When she saw me, she exhaled like she'd been drowning. Please, she whispered. Please just talk to me. So I did. The conversation that ended us. I know everything, I said quietly. I've known for a long time. Her eyes filled instantly. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did, I replied. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. That broke her more than anything. I lost my job, she said, voice cracking. Everything is ruined. My reputation, my career. That wasn't me, I said. That was the truth. She shook her head violently. No, you exposed it. You sent those emails. You wanted this. And for the first time, I didn't hide it. Yes, I said. I wanted the truth to cost you something. Because it cost me everything. She covered her face and sobbed, a raw, broken sound that echoed through the room. Do you hate me? She whispered. I thought about that for a long moment. No, I said. I just don't love who you really are. She slid to the floor, collapsing into herself. That was the moment she realized something important. Revenge isn't loud. It isn't violent. It doesn't scream or strike or explode. Sometimes revenge is simply letting someone feel the full weight of what they did. No exaggeration, no cruelty, no embellishment. Just the truth they spent so long hiding. The end. And she packed my bag that night. She begged. She promised. She pleaded. But every word felt like an echo of the lies she'd already told. As I closed the door behind me, she whispered, is this really it? I looked back at her, small, broken, trembling in the home we once shared. Yes, I said, this is the part you earned. And I left, not angry, not triumphant, just free. Revenge wasn't the point. Closure was. And sometimes the most poetic ending is the one where the person who betrayed you finally understands what loyalty was worth, only after they've lost it forever.